Predator never wins, but how can that still be a beautiful movie? Not just a movie from the bad guy's perspective. How can that still really be a full meal experience? So that's what led us to Badlands. I really like what Dan is trying to talk in here, and I mean, at least in regards to this, I mean, he's a guy that finally realized something that fans have been asking, have been saying that would be a good idea for many years, which is like, I mean, the Predator is cool. A lot of fans, a lot of people, we see the Predator movies because of the Predator. Sure, they are usually the bad guys and they lose. However, like the idea of having the Predator as a protagonist, it just sounds very interesting because it has worked well in like games, comics, novels, and like it's more interesting. It's interesting to have like a Predator as more of a protagonist. We had other attempts of having like a hero Predator, like in AVP 2004 with Scar, and then you have like Predators with the Crucified Predator, but those kind of just like didn't really lead to anywhere. I think those are wasted, especially the capture. I think that they capture Crucified Predator from Predators. They could have made him team up with Royce and Isabel and survive the encounter against Mr. Black. I think that the way that they handled that Predator in that movie was really a waste. And then you have the Fugitive in the Predator 2018, which also they was completely wasted. And well, for the first time, we actually have someone that it really is like seeing the potential of having the Predator as a protagonist. However, it's a shame that he had to like change the Predator design so much that it barely looks like a Predator. But well, I mean, things just can't be all perfect. So here we have ahead of Predator Badlands appearance at the iconic San Diego Comic Con. Yeah, here's released an interview with the writer-director Dan Trachtenberg and some brand new publicity stills from the upcoming Predator movie. It would be fair to say that many of us have thought that a Predator taking the center stage as the protagonist was a response to the Predator just never taking home what that big win at the end of the movies. Yeah, it's a little bit of that, but even then, like, you can still have even like a movie that is like, I mean, AVPR, Alien vs Predator Requiem, the movie was like almost like half focused on Wolf. Wolf was almost like a main character, like was following him for, I think, that almost as much as the human characters. However, of course, he died at the end, but still, like, you can have him as a protagonist and still making him lose just for, I mean, depending on how the plot goes. But here is what he was saying, that the Predator never wins, and well, they decide to finally make what people have been asking. This is like, Deck is gonna win. Like, it's not a spoiler. I mean, it's not like I read the script, but like, I already know. Like, since they are making this so focused on this Predator, like, Deck's gonna win. We're gonna finally have. It's already pretty much like confirmed in my head that we have a movie where the Predator is gonna be winning at the end. We're going to discuss challenges involving turning the Predator from a villain into a character to be rooted for. On one hand, finding a way to get an audience to emotionally engage with him and connect to him and root for what he's after, but also not neglect that he's a creature and he's ferocious and frankly a badass. Well, I think that this is actually like does remind me of other Predator protagonists. I mean, let's talk about, of course, Scarface, my favorite Predator of all time, which is the protagonist of the game from 2005, Predator Conquer Jungle. And yeah, you can, the audience, the players, they could emotionally like connect with Scarface because even though like he's a Predator and he's very like a classic, he looks like a classic Predator. I mean, for the most part, and he's like everything that a Predator fan would like to see in a Predator. However, like we see like the whole thing about that is similar to Dak here, that he's a disgraced Predator. He's a Predator that is going through like a hard time, let's say, and he has to prove himself worthy. So like hardships is like a hard moment, which anyone like humans can connect to. You going through like a hard moment in your life, and you have to push through pain to be able to achieve something. So that's cool. And like, but not forget that like but not humanize him too much. I think that from the trailer, from the behavior of Dak, he doesn't look very humanized. I mean, Scarface, he does have some moments where he's like using the voice mimicry of humans, so he understands human language, but it was done in such a good way that it didn't feel like he was humanizing him, at all. Like, I think that the way it still felt like a Predator. His behavior, you could connect to understand his mindset, understand like the things that he's going through to connect with him as a player. But still, like, he was a Predator. In this case, I feel like Dak, I mean, we can understand maybe he's gonna be talking more in Predator language, which is something we haven't seen before, And but the main problem is that I think that the thing that he's most humanized with it is his appearance, like the hairline, like making him more human-like, the dreadlocks in this position, just the armor looks less Predator-like. So it's like everything, like I would say 90% of my complaints about the movie are just related to the Predator design, pretty much. To do this, Trachtenberg pulled inspiration from classic cinematic characters who don't speak very much and have a presence that's intimidating. Yeah, you can just take like a bunch of like video game characters like a Doomslayer, or like there are so many video game characters that they don't talk, they just kill everything. So that's like the badass silent type of protagonist. That goes well with the Predator. I mean, the Predator protagonists that we had were always like that. I mean, Scarface did talk, but through voice mimicry, like I said. I mean, Dak is going to be talking more. I mean, he's going to be talking in Predator language, so we're going to see more emotions coming out of him. Think Clint Eastwood movies, Mad Max into Road War, Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, the badass silent type. Characters have a cold in a morally ambiguous landscape that are very much like anti-hero. Yeah, you have the hero, like I would say maybe like you have Doomslayer, but he's more like usually like a good guy. I mean, he doesn't do them bad. Or you can say like Kratos from God of War. He's more of like an anti-hero because I mean he's the hero of the story, but he still does bad things to get what he wants. So he's kind of like almost like a great, really like a great character. Like he's the hero of the story, but he does do bad things to people. So like anti-hero, yeah. Now here we have the android with Deck. The writer director goes on to reveal that they designed a mask for Deck. Yeah, I saw it. Kind of looks like a little bit like a Felix from the Felix. How do you call it? I don't know. One of the Predator Hunting Grounds mask. Fans shouldn't expect to see in it too much through the movie. Oh, I don't like this. I want to, I like why I noticed that like in the last trailer we don't even see him with the mask. He's completely unmasked all the time. Like I think that it kind of loses a little bit of the appeal. Predators are supposed to use their mask. You know, that's how they can see better. It's like equipment. It's like using like any other equipment that they use. You know, so that's kind of like not having having the Predator face show up too much. I think it kind of loses a little bit of the mystery now. The unmasking of the Predator is always like a cool thing. All the movies like how he's gonna look without the mask. They designed, so they went to the trouble of making like a completely new mask for him, but don't expect him to see much of the movie. I mean, I don't like this, to be honest. I want to see. Maybe it's because I'm not a big fan of the design, but I wish he would stay with the mask because that mask doesn't look bad. I would say probably the mask that I saw Deck using is probably the best thing about his design. So him not using it through most of the film is actually a bad thing for me. They also talk a little about the decision to include a synthetic character to avoid the audience getting too attachment to the human angle of the story than Deck. I mean, yeah, maybe like not having like a actual human synthetic just makes it like a little bit more different. Here is the full interview of that. It's a little bit more intense than just proving himself, because there are some traumatic, violent things that he experienced. There's a head here in my way. Wait, close here. Thing. There are some traumatic, violent things that he experienced. Yeah, he looks like the bad Predator, the one that looks like Darth Vader is gonna be doing like killing, and then like he's gonna like think he's gonna kill a Predator that is important to Dak, and then Dak is just gonna be screwed. Then he finds himself on a planet where everything's trying to kill him. That's actually cool. Like. And then he is like on the planet where like there's so many things, different enemies to fight. They need to have BADLANDS center on not just the titular alien character, but also set on the home universe as opposed to in his home universe. I mean, I don't think it's supposed to be the home planet of the Predators, not the Ultra Prime, like as some people call it, because I mean it's the planet. I mean, it's not from there. I mean, he even in the trailer it's implied that he just arrived at that planet where everything's trying to kill him, and now he's trying to just survive there. He's unique to the franchise. Also brought a refreshing spin to the 2022 prequel Prey, blah blah blah. Predator never wins. Yeah, that haven't happened before. That's what led to Badlands. On one hand, finding. Oh yeah, this I read before. Yeah, another more surprising way to the character involving the removing his most famous feature, the mask. I don't think that this is a good thing at all. Like honestly, like I think Predators look cool with the mask. Like sure they look, depending on the design, they look cool without the mask. But like maybe they're trying to make us connect to him more by showing his expressions while he's unmasked. But still, like we were tempted. But the whole thing is, can you find a way into this monster? I mean, he barely looks like a monster. Like he has already been humanized with the design. So Shrek isn't wearing the knight's helmet through the whole movie. Don't compare Predator to Shrek, dude. It's like the DAC is a ogre. Yeah, but I mean, a knight helmet is not gonna fit an ogre. But like the predators have a helmet that is specific for their species that helps them in the hunt. I mean, I don't know what how is this comparison. You're gonna have experience with a guy, hopefully fall in love with that. But I became dependent. I'm really saying he's a creature. Yeah, you are going to fall in love. You better really try hard. You better make him like a really good character for me to get over his design. Deck isn't alone on his anti-hero journey. He finds unlikely ally in Taya, who is a synthetic made by one independent company. Yeah, from Alien. They're this is another thing that I'm liking. Tying up the Alien universe to Predator universe again. Don't expect this film to be a full Predator Alien crossover event. Yeah, I'm not expecting to see aliens. I think the chances of that happening is very low. It is exciting to have this movie be just a little top dip link between those franchises. It is important to me. I'm sure people anticipate a much bigger thing. Maybe other movies and other cinematic universe will be more aggressive. Yeah, I'm expecting that after this, if this is a success, we can hope for another AVP entry for sure. But I really didn't want to take all the action figures and smush them together. I really want to tell a cool story. Then I hope you do it. I'm really hoping this goes well. Please, I mean, after the last Predator movies were not that good to me. To do that, Trachtenberg says he knew Deck needed company. I mean, I get it. He's a Predator. Maybe like he's gonna if having like two characters allow you to understand more of both because of their relationship to it. They talk, they behave with each other. You can learn more about each character than or having them just engage in their own, you know. To make her a human would mean that everybody out is supposed to be like would start to get tempted by the human and their story. Yeah, it would make. I mean, synthetics can still be very interesting. I just think that the whole human predator thing, maybe it's getting overused. It's already being used a few times, and I think that I don't remember if you ever had a synthetic teaming up with a predator before. I mean, not in the movies, of course, but I'm not sure in comics. I mean, games, I don't think. Maybe in a comic or a novel, maybe. But I think, oh yeah, in the AVP Rage War, I think there was a synthetic that helped a predator. But that's a very few occasions that most people are not aware, so there could be something new for the movies. The next thought was, wait a minute, I know a company that makes robots. Yeah, and that led to Wayland's instinct of it. Oh, they are pretty interesting and bizarre pairing for each other. Yeah, I mean, an alien and a human robot. I mean, we don't like. We're gonna have to see how this synthetic is humanized because some synthetics are more robotic than others in the Alien franchise. There's a huge part of the fun movie is their chemistry. Speaking of chemistry, next up the film is Comic Con, where Trachtenberg hopes to further dazzle the crow gathering the famed Hall H later this week. When it's not related to the movie. I'll be very emotional if I want to sync it. It'll really nail me, so I'll be doing my best not let it fully nail me. It beyond words. And this is it. So for those of you those of us that have always hoped for a Predator protagonist, we have it. It's not perfect. It's not the Predator that I kind of wanted. Like I wanted him to look like Jungle Hunter or Scarface. But well, this is what we have, and let's hope this movie ends up being like a big success for the Predator franchise.